Welcome back to the Foundations of Science series. In this episode, we will explore the important topic of collecting and analyzing data. As always, I encourage you to subscribe to my channel and hit the like button if you find this video informative. Don't forget to share it with your friends and colleagues who might also be interested in learning about the scientific method. If you haven't watched the previous videos in the series, I highly recommend checking them out before diving into this one. So let's get started with this exciting journey of scientific discovery. If you've ever watched a science show on TV, you're probably familiar with the process of collecting and analyzing data. But what exactly does it mean to collect and analyze data? What are some of the different methods for doing so? What makes a good research methodology? In this article, we'll explore these questions, and more so that you can learn about how science actually works in real life. Data collection methods. Data collection methods are the means by which you gather information for your study. There are many different types of data collection methods, and you should pick the one that best fits your research question. Data collection methods. Surveys. A survey is a set of questions asked to a group of people who have something in common, e.g., age, gender. Surveys can be administered by mail or online. They generally take at least 15 minutes to complete and often require some level of reading ability on behalf of participants. Questionnaires. A questionnaire is similar to a survey except that it only contains closed-ended questions. Questions with set answers rather than open-ended ones, like, how do you feel about this? Focus groups. A focus group is a qualitative research method used to gather feedback from a small group of people with something in common. Focus groups are usually conducted face-to-face. They take at least an hour to complete and require some level of reading ability on behalf of participants. Data analysis technique. The method of data analysis is the way you analyze the data to determine if it supports your hypothesis or not. There are many different methods of data analysis, but the most common are descriptive statistics. This type of analysis involves describing what you have observed in your study. For example, you may want to know how many people in a certain population smoke cigarettes on average per day. So you collect this information from all participants and then describe their average daily cigarette consumption. A, G, e-cigarette consumption, E, J, 5 packs. Inferential statistics. This type of analysis allows for generalizations about groups based on samples taken from those groups or populations. For example, if we wanted to know how much money Americans spend on food each year as opposed to Canadians or Europeans or Asians who live elsewhere around the world, we could take samples from these different regions using surveys and then use inferential statistics such as chi-square tests and ANOVA. Models in order make comparisons between them. If we wanted to know how many Americans smoke cigarettes on average per day, we could take a sample of people from this population and then use inferential statistics such as chi-square tests and ANOVA models in order to make comparisons between them. In both cases, we are making direct or indirect comparisons between groups based on samples that have been taken from those groups. Research methodology. Research methodology is the process of collecting and analyzing data. It involves designing a study, selecting participants for the study, gathering information from those participants, analyzing the data, and interpreting it. The first step in research methodology is to design your study. You need to figure out what you want to study, who will be involved in your research, the population, how you'll go about collecting information from this population, and what types of statistical analyses you'll use on your collected data once all of it has been gathered. Focus groups. A focus group is a group of people who are asked to discuss an issue in depth and give their opinions on it. Focus groups tend to last about 2 hours. They may be conducted in person or over the phone, but usually require participants to have some level of reading ability, reading comprehension, in order to make conclusions about the populations as a whole. Once you've designed your study, you can begin to collect data, you may need to send out surveys or questionnaires to participants, run a series of experiments in which certain variables are controlled and others are not, or simply interview people about their experiences with your product or service. Data collection and analysis is an important part of doing science. Data collection is an important part of doing science, but it's not the same as data analysis. Data collection methods are different from data analysis technique. Data can be collected in many ways: by observing or measuring something in the world around us, by asking people questions about their experiences and opinions, by performing experiments on living organisms like plants or animals, and so on. The two main types of data analysis techniques are descriptive statistics and inferential statistics. Descriptive statistics summarize your observations by finding averages, medians, ranges, things like that. They don't tell you anything about whether there's a relationship between two variables or how strong that relationship might be if there were one. On the other hand, inferential statistics allows us to draw conclusions based on our sample size rather than making assumptions about every member within that population being representative of all members within it, which would mean using everybody. Instead of just one person at random, or maybe several, who represents everyone else without having any idea what he/she looks like because we haven't met him before today. Data collection and analysis is a critical part of doing science. In this post, we've discussed 3 different methods for collecting data: direct observation, experiments, and survey. You can also analyze your data using statistical techniques such as t-tests or chi-square tests. These methods allow you to draw conclusions about whether there is a relationship between two variables like height and weight, but they don't tell us why that relationship exists. That's why researchers use other types of research methods like case studies or interviews when trying to understand why something happened, or didn't happen, or didn't happen. Thanks for watching Foundations of Science 3, collecting and analyzing data. I hope you found the information useful and informative. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos on science and other topics, and hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Also, feel free to share this video with your friends and leave any comments or questions you may have below. Thanks again for watching, and see you in the next video.